So let's get on to the Capitol riot horror. So the Capitol riot, the storming of the Capitol, the insurrection, the God knows whatever else adjective we're going to put next to that word. So the people who went into the Capitol on January 6th. And the Democrats can't get over this. Just not. This is 9/11 to them, and they're never going to move. So they are...
Yeah, I noticed that a lot of them are on the position that America deserved 9/11, but didn't deserve the boomers walking through the Capitol having fun.
Hassan. So there's been a lot of stuff around this, and I want to go through it because it's good fun. So this is the first one in which someone points out the statistics of what happened. So they say 183 days since the attack, 523 rioters charged, 13 guilty pleas, 1 rioter sentenced, 0 rioters sentenced to prison. Source CNN.
Oh, so it sounds proportional. Because, I mean, I agree that for trespassing or something like that, they should be charged.
Aggravated trespass, vandalism, destruction of property, whatever it is.
Yeah. Because that's what they did.
So...
What they weren't trying to do, clearly, is overthrow the government.
Because how was that going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't have any guns.
Go into the Capitol. Step 2. Question mark, question mark, question mark.
Step 2. Call someone on Nancy Pelosi's phone. Step 3. Steal her laptop. Step 4. Steal the lectern. Step 5. New republic. Like...
declare autonomy.
Yeah. Question, 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 profit.
So here's the thing. Like, this guy's trying to show it off as being like, oh my god, no one's been sentenced to prison.
Oh, boo-hoo.
But they're being charged, so that's the process at work. But also, yeah, it takes time to take people to jail. But what's interesting is you can compare this to the DC riots under BLM. Mm-hmm. So if we go to the next one, this is just the data from the DC government in which they recall that between, May 2020 and April 2021, 449 unrest-related arrests took place. Mm-hmm. So more people have been arrested and even charged with the Capitol Hill than were arrested in DC because of the riots.
And these riots burned down large segments of the city.
Yeah. There's also the assaults on the Lincoln Memorial in the name of anti-racism. The assault on the World War II Memorial in the name of anti-racism. The statue of Kazimierz Pilsudski, sorry if I butchered that, who was the... Pulaski, I don't know how you say. And also the statue of Gandhi in the name of anti-racism. So there's that. But
I just love that they're going after Abraham Lincoln.
Just Abraham Lincoln's the bad guy.
Yeah, who's he? Oh, he's
in
the
the
guy
name of George Floyd, death to Lincoln.
Yeah, just... Sorry, was he wrong, was he?
Yeah.
God, anyway.
So there's been a lot of other just strange developments from the state on this. So the first one is the state claiming that they've seized a Lego set.
Riot leader had fully constructed U.S. Capitol Lego set at home, says FBI.
As opposed to a deconstructed Lego set, which would be totally legal.
Yeah. Well, there's is this some sort of assault Lego set that we have to worry about?
Well, you have the parts of a gun, that's fine. Put them together, that's a crime. Like, you got to take some points off the Lego.
I mean, if he had schematics or something and plans drawn up
for a Lego set.
No, to invade the Capitol building, I might say, okay, fair enough. That's more of an indication that something was pre-planned. But having a Lego set, I think, falls outside of that.
So they say in here, federal investigators have seized an unusual piece of evidence, call that, from Pennsylvania man.
Evidence.
Indicted last month for his role in the Capitol riot, a Lego replica of the building allegedly stormed. Okay. According to court documents obtained by Smoking Gun, FBI investigators seized an array of firearms at his home, as well as the court filings describing a fully constructed U.S. Capitol Lego set. That's the wording. Fully constructed.
Did it have little Lego figures going over the top? Like you did?
It had Wolfman.
Yeah.
The prosecutors didn't say whether Moss used his toy to help plan the Capitol insurrection. Yeah, I imagine they didn't say if the Lego set helped in the insurrection or not, because...
Imagine being in court and the prosecutor's like, so you had a fully constructed Lego replica of the Capitol. This was you using it to plan your insurrection, wasn't it? Wasn't it?
Could you imagine being the state prosecutor and like the other guys have done all this and then you're the one who's got to present the case and they bring in the Lego set you're looking at it and you look back at your guys and you're like, like, why are you putting us in this position?
This isn't key to our case, is it?
It's like, did you construct this Capitol Hill Lego set? Yes, we got him, Your Honor.
Yes, when I was 12. You know, like... Yeah, John's making a good point. Interesting, he had loads of guns, but he didn't bring any.
Yeah, because they also mention another item seized from his house was a notebook containing step-by-step instructions on how to create a militia, instructions about ambush and battle drills, and reminders to bring an assault rifle and 4 magazines in his militia booklet. It's actually part of the U.S. Constitution to form militias.
Yeah.
So it's not really an indictment to be like, hey, I'm following the Constitution. So,
Just doing what George Washington said.
but so the only piece of evidence there is the Lego set. They go for the Lego set. You're going down, boys. So if anyone's got a Lego set at home, deconstruct it quickly. Jesus Christ. At least if it's in bit, it doesn't matter. So of course there have been a lot of memes published in response to this stupidity. So if we go to the next one, this just go awkward.
Oh no, was that Joe Biden's?
Yeah. So if we go to the next one, which is the main suspect has been named in this case, presumably. So the Lego man himself. If we go to the next one. Seeing the police have released a photo of the main suspect. Gotta get him, boys. So if you want to know what the Lego set in question is, I've mentioned it was a Lego set of Capitol
He
Hill.
reminds me of the Florida man with the lectern, just wondering, hi. That's how he looks.
Yeah,
Like
it does actually.
genuinely happy.
Yeah. Oh man.
Meme magic is real.
The
man.
guy storming the Capitol is just shouting, "Everything is awesome." Anyway, so if you go to the next link, this is the set in question, just so people can know if you want to buy it or get rid of it. Because
Oh yeah, that looks like it's incredibly accurate.
how am I going to storm the Capitol? I could get the blueprints from the Libraries of Congress, like,
Or I could get this Lego set.
for $266.
The
Yeah,
blueprint's
well,
probably cheaper.
I mean, as Disclosed TV mentioned, at least it's got a 5-star rating, so it must be very accurate.
It's probably great for Lego's advertising, to be honest. Now everyone knows about this Lego architecture
Yeah, I didn't know
box.
you could buy one.
Yeah, I didn't know.
So there's also there's prayers being said for the journalists who had to cover all of this, as Jacob Soviet points out. Prayers up for the mental health of the journalists who have to cover the Lego massacre. And this is in reference, of course, to the Vice article claiming that journalists are having the worst of times in the world. So let's go to the next link, in which you have Brian Steller saying, "I wish I thought to write this story," and then a link to the Vice article. What? Why do you think I wish I wrote this story? You weren't even there. So, so this is the Vice article. So angry. Reporters who survived the Capitol riot are still struggling.
Well, all of them, because they all survived, because none of the rioters brought any weapons
They didn't kill any journalists, to my
or
knowledge.
even attack anyone.
So I don't know what to say. So
The only person who died in the riot was Ashley Babbitt from...
I think, what did Officer Stinnick? Well, I don't know.
No, yeah, he didn't die from being hit with a fire extinguisher or anything like that.
I know there were some lies about it with New York
There
Times.
were. He died separately away from the incident. So this is apparently, and no one's been charged, of course, and so no, that's absolutely not true. And yet it's a lie that has got such legs; it's continuing to go on. The only person killed was Ashley Babbitt by some unknown security guard.
Yeah, as Trump said, who killed Ashley Babbitt.
Yes.
So they say in this article, in which they are presumably lighting incense and saying prayers for the poor journalists. The reporters who survived the insurrection are still covering Congress, but things don't feel normal.
Oh God, I bet there's just flashbacks of little old ladies waving American flags as they're shepherded through the halls of Congress.
Between the rope.
Yeah.
Reporters have discussed...
Between the ropes, exactly. like they're on a day trip. I just love it. Anyway.
Reporters have discussed their personal experiences in the days immediately following the Capitol insurrection, but few have publicly talked about their lasting effects in the months since.
That's a shame. I wish they'd talk about it a lot more. It's really funny.
The toll that day took on them. The difficulty some have faced in returning to the site where they experienced trauma. And what it's been like covering a Congress still deeply divided on the events till that day. Oh, my heart goes out. I am so sorry
Rough.
that you had to be there and watch some people smash some windows.
It used to be that journalists went to war zones and got shot at.
Imagine the guys who were reporting from Baghdad as it was being bombed by the Americans. And it's like, yeah, but I was in the Capitol when someone broke a window. Like, okay.
when someone dressed in black, who the crowd was yelling Antifa at, broke a window.
Yeah, so they have a quote from one of these journos saying, "I'm still not sleeping like I used to, even to this day." Oh, boy. Wait until you go to Portland and start covering people breaking windows on a daily basis and then throwing firebombs.
Yeah. And shooting people in the street.
Some reporters who were there some of the reporters who were there won't go back into the building. A number have sought therapy to deal with the trauma. One long-time Capitol Hill reporter opted for early retirement shortly after living through the riot. Living through the riot. Many still aren't sleeping well.
Oh.
And this goes on for 3,500 odd words, so I'm not going to waste my time. You get the point. Like, it's just a eulogy just being like, oh, would you please think of the poor journos who had to watch windows be broken.
So the politicians are victims, the journalists are victims, and the public, the individuals who are in the public, are the victimizers.
Yeah. So there's also a great quote by one of these journos who retweeted the story I find really funny. So sometimes it feels like one of those horror movies, like the end of Jaws. Everything feels
Copacetic.
on the beach, but you wonder if there's anything out there. Well, what are you talking about?
So no, they're complaining that there are still right-wingers that exist in America, and they're still worried that any day now they might rise up and storm the Capitol like the prats that they were, and that's traumatizing.
I mean, I love it. I mean, I can't get over the optics of the people storming. I mean, we have Bearman there, the great Khan himself, and
who is
that's
this
the
guy,
image.
the QAnon shaman?
Yeah, so the journalist covering this says on her bio, she's a journalist covering gender and sexuality for Vice / a wannabe cat lady.
Right.
I'm sure the Florida man still scares them to this day.
Just look at him. He's obviously just having a laugh.
Yeah. They're still having nightmares about the old lady as well, of course. So we go to the next one. This is just the old lady. Still having nightmares about her. Just can't sleep. Can't sleep, my friends. I gotta retire. I can't go back to this building. I saw an old lady there with a flag.
It's just so obviously normal people.
Yeah. So that's not the only thing that's absurd. There's also one more absurdity, which is the clothes people wore on the day apparently are important now. So this is some guy saying 6 months ago, I wore this blue suit as I cleaned the Capitol after the insurrection. Now I've donated it to the Smithsonian.
Okay.
What the f... like...
January the 6th must never be forgotten. While some try to erase history, I will fight to still tell the story so it never happens again.
I mean, we've got George Washington's clothes he died in. We've got the U.S. Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, Jim's suit.
Why does he think he's so important that his suit needs to go to there?
So I laughed at this originally because I was like, imagine the Smithsonian getting his suit and just being like, what the throw it in Lost and Found. But it turns out apparently the Smithsonian requested his suit.
Oh, really?
Which, I mean, the Smithsonian publishing that thing on whiteness, I'm not really surprised.
Well, yeah,
so if we go down, he says, when the Smithsonian asked me to donate the blue suit, so it's like, okay, they called him up. So if we go to the next link, he says in here, people wrote saying that the blue suit gave them a sense of resilience and hope. What? Who? Your kid? I mean, by those drawings, it's got to be a kid. I assume that's not an adult.
Well, no, that's a millennial.
I mean the ones on the right.
I meant that too.
That could also be a millennial. You're
Yes.
quite right. So
millennial Californians wrote to them in their crayons.
if you're wondering who the hell this is and why his suit is important, he's the chap whose meme went a bit viral. So if we go to the next one, this is the AP reporting on the time. What else could I do? And then Representative Kim helps clean up the Capitol. There's a picture of him in his blue suit, there's a mask on, with a garbage bag, picking up plastic bottles. The damage. We will never recover from this.
I can't help but notice that nothing's smashed.
Like, this is the thing as well. I remember, and I'm not crazy, I swear this was the case, in which this image went viral at the time it was published, because everyone in the Trump camp was like, man, the damage done to our democracy, whatever will we do? He's got to pick up little bottles, don't you know? Like, it's over. Like, I know you've got, like, everything burning down all over the country for the last year, but, I mean, look, plastic bottles, some of them have still got water in it. You could get hands
Truly,
wet.
this is the end of the Republic.
Yeah, it's just like, I'll never recover from this damage. The damage the rioters have done. I mean, rioters, what did they leave? Plastic bottles. Not fires? Yeah. Alright. So, it was just like, if you were going to do this, at least take images of, like, the broken windows or doors. Why would you choose this? And just to make the point even more clear, if we go to the next link, this is just the BLM riots last year. Remember this? This is what a riot looks like.
I mean, literally entire streets seem to be on fire.
That's a riot. A man with a blue suit picking up cups of water are not comparable. Those are not the same thing. So the horror show that is the Capitol, insurrection, riot, 9/11 2.0, or whatever we're calling it now, yeah, the horrors don't seem to be as bad as the journos are.
I don't know, actually. I think they are comparable, and I think we should start comparing them. I think, in fact, we should start comparing the amount of money it costs to clean them up, in fact, and to fix all of these things. Because I bet the Capitol riots are picking up some bottles, not very expensive. Replacing all the damage here probably cost millions. If you enjoyed this segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can watch the full broadcast live every weekday at 1 PM UK time on lotuseaters.com.